Yo, what up? What up? What up, man? What up? Y'all get in here right quick for this latest installment of Black Pill History Month. I'm finna lace y'all with another episode of Black Pill History. As you can see, I got the tether background, and I gotta have the tether background up because we talking about tethers today. So y'all get in here. I ain't even gonna hold y'all for a long time either. I ain't even gonna hold y'all for a long time. Y'all get in here though. Lion, what up, man? What up? What up? What up? What up? Mr. O with the info. What up, man? Kwame Kaji, what up, man? Jermaine Taylor, what up? Distant Rose, what up? No news, what up? Yeah, you right. Tellers are always tethering. Oh, you say this is an exotic topic right here? Yeah, it is, KC. It definitely is. It definitely is, man. Definitely is. Science guy say, oh, he say, I've been waiting for you to break down the history on this. I remember you brought this up a while back. Yeah. Yeah. Lion writes, you see Brad is panicking because the white birth rate is down 50%. Yeah, they should panic. And even though y'all count Arabs that come here, y'all count Afghans that come here, it's all type of races of people that come here that they count them as Caucasians. And even with y'all adding all of them numbers, it's still the birth rate is still down. Yep. Yep. Tan writes, crazy. I just started seeing documentary videos of how bad Dallas was, them Jamaican drug dealers. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Saul, what up, man? What up? All right. Now, in America, right? The sad part is in within the purview of American history, it's only been one time and one time only when a foreign born person came here and engaged in criminal enterprise that didn't help destroy the so-called black community, but actually help enrich it. Before we go to the negative, I'm gonna start with the positive in this Black Pill History Month. Go share the screen right quick with a couple of people that y'all might recognize. With a couple of people that y'all might recognize. That right there is Bumpy Johnson standing next to Stephanie St. Clair, known otherwise as the Madam Queen. When in that movie Hoodlum, this is who Cicely Tyson was playing, is this woman right here. Now, this woman had a numbers running empire, and Bumpy Johnson or Ellsworth Johnson, who had actually came to New York from Chicago, was one of her henchmen, one of her lieutenants. And she ended up passing it to him. And then he passed his shit on to Frank Lucas, and then Frank Lucas turned it into something that into the drugs. Now, why is this important? This is important, number one, because like I said, this is the only time that some positive has ever came out of an outsider coming here and engaging in criminal enterprise. Remember, banks didn't give black people loans back then. So most black people that wanted to start businesses got the loans from policy men, right? Now, I always thought it was a strange white behavior to decry, and I talked about that in my book that I wrote, to decry how so-called black people don't have economic development, but then at the same time, you do everything that you can to stop saying black people from having any economic development. So they wouldn't give niggas loans. And so when black people started to build their own financial institutions, they did what they can to try to stamp that out. That's why they, truth be told, that's why they legalized. No, Bumpy wasn't no tether. Hell no. No, she was. Truth be told, the reason that they legalized the lottery, is to stop numbers running, because black people had their own financial institutions through numbers running. My great grandfather was a policy man. He ran numbers. He gave loans to people and all of that shit. That's how I know this. They wanted to get rid of these so-called illegal lotteries because black people were building their own shit from that, right? Now, as we progress on in this live, you're going to understand why this first picture is so important, right? So that's the only time that it ever worked out positively, right? Now, as time wore on, the white power structure understood that despite many attempts to stop the economic development of so-called black people in this country, that they couldn't, right? And so also with time passing came a changing of political sensibilities, right? And a change of technology. Now we come into the era where we have satellite news, right? When they was fighting in Vietnam, they had satellite broadcasts back then, right? And so a Tulsa, Oklahoma style attack to destroy black ran areas wasn't a viable option anymore, because now the whole world was watching, right? So that's where they come with integration. That's where they come with the co-opting of black movements, and what started as one man, one vote, all of a sudden changed into I want to eat next to white people. I want to shop where white people shop. That's what it started out as, one man, one vote. I don't know where it went to. I want to sit at a lunch counter and eat with white folks, right? But they understood that this is a mechanism that they could use to economically destroy the so-called black man. Is by, they already thought that the white man's ice was colder. Well, let's open the market up so they can come get some of this white man's ice, and therefore deprive those all black businesses of all of those dollars, right? So that wasn't working fast enough. It wasn't working fast enough. It wasn't working fast enough, because a byproduct of the liberalism of broadcasting civil rights is that now you had a situation where a lot of white people will once again start to come and shop with black people. So the integration wasn't working fast enough. So then that's when they first started to employ tethers. Shirley Chisholm was the original Congressional Black Caucus Tether. And what Shirley Chisholm did is that she made sure, as part of the 1964, 1965 civil rights, is that she put immigration quotas in for other countries. Now, our ancestors being so magnanimous and silly, they actually thought that this was a good thing. And my grandfather always said there's no benefit of having two different sets of niggas in this country. He was right. So that's when, in the Carter administration, they set up the Office of Refugee Resettlement, and they began to financially bankroll tellers, black tellers especially, that came to live in our communities. That wasn't working fast enough for them. And then you had a, foreign policy adventurism by the Reagan administration, and they needed a lot of black budgets that you had a very democratic and very liberal Congress, and they wouldn't approve any military spending because that was still the holdover Congress that was there during the Jimmy Carter years, and they was used to being cheap with the military. And so Reagan decided that if I move drugs to America and sell it, that I can bankroll my black projects. Here's where the black pill come in. How many of y'all Generation X heads remember when they first started, coming out talking about it's a RICO indictment? You know why they made up RICO indictments? You know why they went after the Costa Nostra? Y'all know why they did that? They made up RICO indictments. They went after the Italian mob to get their ass out of the way. You know why they wanted to get the Italian mob out of the way? Because the Italian mob had a ban on dealing in drugs. Now there were some Italian mob members that did participate in drug sales, but they knew if they got caught that they would be killed by their own mob. They wasn't supposed to be doing that. They wasn't supposed to be doing that. And the way that the mob was controlling these cities back then, if it was any illegal dollar made, they was gonna want in on it. And a lot of times, the weapon that they use against drug dealers, no matter what race they was, is that they would extort them so heavily that they would go bankrupt. No, no. They wanted to move the Italian mob out of the way because the Italian mob made it hard to make money dealing drugs. When you still had a strong mob, dealing drugs was for small timers. Wasn't no drug kingpins while the mob was still strong. Because anybody that was making any illegal dollar, they was gonna want in on it. And if they knew you was dealing drugs, they would just extort the fuck out of you. And if you didn't hand them that bag every month, then they would kill you. They was against drugs. That's why they got rid of the Italian mob. It wasn't about, corruption and organized labor. No, that's why they got rid of the Italian mob, because they wanted to clear the underground landscape to make it fertile for drug dealing. So once they drove the mob underground, that's when they start bringing people like this. That's when people like this came to the forefront. The fuck? That's a Jamaican drug dealer, a Jamaican drug kingpin, Vivian Blake, right? Now y'all see that I had that Alpo Martinez, which is a black Puerto Rican, an Afro Caribbean, Afro Latino, is the thumbnail. Yeah, that's Vivian. Yeah, Vivian. Yeah. Hey, don't judge the name. This nigga was a killer. Don't get caught up in that name. This nigga was a killer, and he was the plug. Don't get too caught up in that little. I don't know why his mother named him that, but hey, she must have wanted a girl. But that nigga was a killer. That nigga was a killer, and that nigga had a bunch of people killed too. Right? There go another one. There go another kingpin. Yep. Christopher Koch. Hell of a name, right? Christopher Koch ran the shower posse. In the 80s and 90s. That's Christopher Koch right there, right? Oh, there you go again. All right. See, it was guys like Vivian Blake and Christopher Koch and Alpo Martinez that plagued black communities. That was the plug. They was the plug. And that's why they wanted to move the mob out of the way so they could bring guys like that. Or they can prop up guys like that to clear the ground for them. And not only that, they could help them morally drag the black man down, because it's all about people that look like us, right? He looked like us, but he not us. Both of them guys did. They look like us, but they not us. But who could tell the difference? Same thing with Alpo. Who could tell the difference, right? Who really could tell the difference? So when you see them niggas selling drugs, you see black people selling drugs. When you see them bringing in they imported crime wave, you see a crime wave of black people. I mean, think about it. How do you inside of the space, not even of one generation, go from being a people that has one of the lowest incarceration rates, being one of the people that has one of the highest marriage rates, being from a people that have one of the lowest out of wedlock birth rates, to being the face of crime and criminality inside of the space of one generation? You have to import niggas like these. You have to import niggas like these. See, it was a rigged game and a setup, man. But your history teacher's not gonna tell you that. And this is why they afraid of the exactly, King. That's exactly. This is why they are afraid of delineation. This is why they terrified of delineation, because now they can't pull fast ones on us no more. They can't pull fast ones on us no more. Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic is a coon ass bitch. He's a coon ass bitch. And he's doing that to push himself up the algorithm. He's doing that to push himself up the algorithm. It's some lame ass shit, man. like I said, I wasn't gonna hold y'all for a long time, man. I hope y'all enjoy that black pill, man. I'm gonna come back and do a platinum roast later on. Yeah, the same thing, same thing, same thing. Did y'all? So y'all thought it was a coincidence that in the 80s and 90s when they started coming at all these Italians and shit, that all of a sudden you start seeing all of these black immigrant drug kingpins? No, that shit was interlocked with each other. That shit was planned. David Lee writes, just like the Belizeans in Los Angeles hid among black Americans. Yes. Yes. No different. No different. Yep. Right about that, Distant Rose. Right about that. Distant Rose writes, that situation also justified the belief that blacks need a foot on their neck to stay civilized. Yep, that justified the war on drugs and the fucking occupation of black neighborhoods by law enforcement. Yes. Yes. It was all interconnected. It was all a rigged game. It was all the setup. It was all the motherfucking scam. And this is the type of shit that y'all gonna get during Black Pill History Month. Oh, Stephen, thanks for the cash out. Don't let that brother be alone. All right, man. I'm coming back with a platinum roast of Hassan Campbell. Right? I'm coming back with a platinum roast of Hassan Campbell, man. I don't think I ever cooked that nigga before, but I'm finna cook that nigga today. I'll see y'all later on, man. It's been a Black